1/16 to go, and to the outside comes Wype trying to close in. Nyquist and Wype down to the wire. Nyquist has won. He's a champion. It was.
Nyquist is doing phenomenal. He's doing really, really well. We've been very fortunate with the weather here in Southern California. It's been nice. The track's been great, and we're shooting for February 15th for his comeback run. The San Vicente going 7 furlongs. And ideally he runs huge there, he comes out of it great. Then the next move will be the Florida Derby at Gulfstream Park. I think it's April 2nd. It'll be his last run. Then we'd have 5 weeks from there, and ideally he runs well there, he comes out of it good, and then he'd probably go right to Kentucky from there. You know, with Nyquist, he's always been an unbelievable looking athlete, but I do think he's put on a little muscle, and he's filled out a little bit. We didn't give him that much time off. We only gave him about 3 weeks of walking him twice a day and just cutting his grain back and taking it easy with him. And we're seeing a lot of real positive stuff at this point. But I think he's ahead of I'll have another. Really, we were rushing to try to get him there. And with this guy, everything has gone really well. You know, he had 5 starts as a 2-year-old and was undefeated, of course. And so he's coming into his 3-year-old campaign in great shape, but as we all know, you know, the big key is keeping him injury free, and that's where Elias, his groom, is phenomenal. So it's with Elias's help, we should be in for a really good year.
My favorite horse, all of them. I love all of them.
Stablemate Taves on ice. Taves on ice and Mor Spirit. Mor Spirit gets a left-handed reminder from Gary Stevens right up alongside of Taves on ice, and Mor Spirit takes over coming past the wire. It will be Mor Spirit to win the Los Alamitos Futurity by a length and a half.
His attitude in the morning, a little bit of a cross between Point Given and Silver Charm. He's got action like Point Given, except he carries his head a little bit lower, more like AP Indy used to. That same kind of long stride, and but he only does what you need him to do in the mornings, and that's kind of how Silver Charm was a lot like that, pretty laid back, and Bob sticks him with company. According to how fast it works he wants, that's the kind of company he gets for him. But like I said, he just does what you need him to do in the morning, and then he shows up in the afternoon.
Mor Spirit is probably one of the best feeling, laziest horses that I have working. If you watch him work, he's not gonna wow you, he's not gonna impress you, but he's been that way since I was training him down at Del Mar. I never started him there because he just didn't really show me much. I think he's the kind of horse that, you know, racing's really going to help him. I think he'll just get better as the racing goes on. I think he's going to change a lot more. He's a big horse. He's a good-sized horse, and he weighs almost as much as American Pharoah.
Already there, and Let's Meet in Rio making late ground, but Collected skips well clear with a 16th to go. Collected coming clear in the sham. Let's Meet in Rio flashing down the outside from last, a real eye catcher for the future, but Collected arrives a length clear of Let's Meet in Rio. Lauban third.
I was very impressed with his last race. He was drawn outside, lost a lot of ground first turn, but managed to not get too rank and sit, going 2 turns first time. And turning for home, the track was pretty deep and loose that day. A lot of horses were struggling a little bit, and he handled the test. He'll be nominated everywhere, and then I decide that week whoever's doing well. If he needs to get on a plane, he goes on a plane. Stay here, stay here. So that's what I like to do.
1/16 to go, and to the outside comes Wype trying to close in. Nyquist and Wype down to the wire. Nyquist has won.
Wype had a small chip in his right ankle, took it out after the Breeders Cup, month off, and prognosis is very good. They think he can return to racing pretty quickly. We've got him in the AquaTread now. He's done with his AquaTread training this week. He'll be back here next week, and I'll start cranking him up. Gives us 3 months of solid training before we try to get him to a prep race. He obviously has a great foundation, Again, he's not a big, rangy, growthy horse. It's not going to take a lot of training to get him, back where he was. So I'm optimistic.
And Forevermo, they've straightened away. Exaggerator digs in deep. Sunny Ridge is right there with a 16th of a mile ago. Holland Punch is not going to get there. It's Exaggerator, Sunny Ridge, and Exaggerator ekes it out on the Delta Downs jackpot. Sunny Ridge.
Exaggerator just went by and he's doing great. He galloped out of the gate this morning just to kind of refresh his mind, or to get him keyed up for business. He has gone through some positive physical growth, not too much of a spurt that he can't handle it along with his training, but he's not a big horse. He's not like Texas Red. Texas Red was big and rangy. This horse is well put together, not too big, but he is growing and he's developing the way I like.